Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. So this is loot from 1000 Iorwerth Elves, and you can kill them in the Elf City. They're usually crowded around Morvran, and that's where I mainly kill them. There's another spot where you can kill them right by the entrance of the Iorwerth. There's a few over there too, but I decided to kill at the Morvran area because they're a little bit compact there, and you can kind of lure them in the middle, and you have like 4 to 5 to kill. So these are the meleeers. I did make a video a while ago of the Rangers, and they're pretty similar. I mean, there's not really that much of a difference other than, you know, your combat style you use, and then their drops are slightly different. And speaking of drops, they have rune plate bodies and rune 2Hs, and they also drop a lot of coins, so a spring cleaner is pretty viable here. And as for gear, I use Noxious Staff and my subjugation. You don't really need that much more than that here, and I also use my Slayer Helm because I was on task for pretty much every one of these kills. I just kind of did it slowly through Slayer. Yeah, they're one of my favorite tasks because like you can kill like 330 per hour, at least at my rate. You can maybe go a little bit faster, but you know, that's just how I got it. So it took like roughly 3 hours to do this loot video. And the only thing you really have to worry about here is that they do stun you every now and then. So I would use a lot of anticipation and freedom just so you don't get stunned all the time. And when you're stunned, they seem to have more damage. Maybe they don't, but you just get damaged a lot. And they also do some bleeds as well. So I would probably just save your freedom for the bleeds, and then use the freedom to get rid of those, and then your anticipation throughout, just so you don't get stunned and, you know, massacred. Not gonna lie, it's kind of easy to die here, especially if you have like 5 on you, and you know, you forgot to do anticipation or something. I died a few times here, but I'll own up to it. It's not too bad. It's right next to the bank, so it really doesn't matter if you die here. And as for like rarest, you know, slash unique drops, they do have the weapon seeds, and then they also have a few brawler drops, which I believe, you know, they can just drop every single brawler just by chance off the rare drop table, but they also have an increased chance of dropping the melee brawlers just because they're, you know, the melee version of the Iorwerth. Same goes for the Khadar Rangers and the Khadar Majors. They have a higher chance of dropping their respective brawler, and I actually ended up getting 1 brawler in this loot video, so that was kind of cool. I don't really remember how far into the loot video that I got it, but it was, you know, just kind of cool that I did get that brawler. And then, yeah, I mean, that pretty much explains what this monster is. So now that you know what this monster is all about, let's go into the price check and see if it's worth to do in terms of money per hour as well as experience. I'll meet you guys there. Alright, so here is the loot from the actual elves. And first thing you should notice is the coin stack. One thing you guys gotta know from these guys is that they drop a lot of coins. Like, I swear this is probably a fourth of my entire loot. They drop either 8 or 12k GP in one drop every time they drop coins, so don't like skip the coin drops, because just in 1,000 kills I got 2.5 mil, and that's, you know, only like 5 to 6 tasks worth, so that's like 500k coins per task, so you know, it really does add up. And then other than that, I mean, they just drop a lot of like regular items that are pretty standard. I mean, I could have spring cleanered these rune plate bodies and rune 2Hs, but back then I really didn't use the spring cleaner. But, you know, you get about the same amount of profit just to be easier. And then they do have noted herbs, noted mithril ore, limp roots, and the white berries. So that's pretty much it. Everything else is basically rare drop table. And then I did get a Trisk fragment pretty early on. I don't really remember when, but that is kind of cool. So yeah, let's just price check, see how much I made in the 1,000 kills. And that looks like 9.6 mil. So if you guys remember me saying that this took roughly 3 hours to do the 1,000, that does mean 3.2 mil an hour. So when I originally did this, I didn't really think they were going to be 3 mil an hour, but they turned out to be. And it's kind of surprising that they stuck to be around 3 mil an hour even to, you know, right now. I guess, I mean, some of the items are kind of like, they can't really change in price just because they're, you know, high demand and everything like that. And like most of the items are actually like items that'll never change, like the rune items, and then obviously the coin drops. So I guess it could stay 3 mil an hour, and that's just crazy that there's still creatures out there that are very easy to kill, such as these guys that have relatively low requirements other than, you know, actually being in Elf City, that are 3 mil an hour. And not to mention they're very good experience per hour. As for combat, I mean, they're not that good. They're like 200k magic experience per hour, like max. So I mean, that really isn't the greatest. But for Slayer, they're like 200k Slayer an hour. That is amazing. That's really unmatched. There's only a few tasks that are better than that, but either way, I mean, this just shows you how good these guys are. So I'm going to quickly sell this loot and see how much I get afterwards. I'm done selling, and I actually forgot to show you guys the charms. So looking at these numbers, I got 400 greens, which is the most common charm here, and then 150 something golds and 167 crimsons. So I mean, their charms aren't the greatest. I mean, I guess they do add up. It's like a 16% chance for crims and like 7% chance for blues. So over a long time you will get, a decent amount of those charms, but they're really not good to camp, especially considering like you get the greens, which are just not worth it in the long run. But I mean, I did end up with 9.585 mil, so pretty much 9.6 mil like my price check. So I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. 3.2 mil an hour, decent amount of experience, and not the worst charms ever, but I guess they just add up. So that's it for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed this loot video, and I hope you guys try out this monster if you've never tried them out before. I do have a Kadarn Ranger loot video as well, which is pretty much the same thing, but it's the Rangers and you melee them. So you can maybe compare their money, so go check that video out if you haven't yet. But anyways guys, I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day.